Itsy Bitsy was started in the year 2007 as a small shop in Bengaluru by Harish and Rashmi Closepet with the goal of making the highest quality art and craft supplies accessible to everybody in India while also inspiring creativity. They are India's biggest retailer for art and craft supplies with more than 12,000 products in their retail and online store. Since their inception, they've been trying to make more inspirational and affordable products. The founders say that they're always on their toes, adding new products and creating trends for consumers. They make over 120 million handmade flowers every year. They employ 3,000 women in rural areas directly and indirectly. Their products create entrepreneurs across the country, and this makes us so happy. And these entrepreneurs are a product of being inspired from their stores. They have close to 40 stores in the country today. Welcome to the upstreamlife.com. I'm your host and founder, Vishal Krishna. Today, I have the founders of Itsy Bitsy with me, Harish and Rashmi. They have inspired do-it-yourself and art culture in India. Let's check out how they built their business. How are you guys?
Very, very good.
All well?
Thanks a lot.
Excellent.
Vishal.
Excellent. I'm a fan of your store and I'm a fan of your manufacturing house. You're many things. You're also a D2C brand in many ways. How did it get started? Was it in 2007 or should we go back to the backstory of 1993?
1993 probably. That's when we met each other, and but we never knew that we would.
92.
92. Yeah.
It always takes a woman to correct a man.
When it comes to dates.
Right? So you knew each other from childhood?
No, although we were born in the same hospital, we didn't know each other.
That's interesting.
We were born in the same hospital, maybe the same brand, we don't know. Yeah.
So were you in the same college or something?
We were.
National
College.
Okay, and
So
that's how
we
you
did our
met?
pre-university together.
Right.
81. Was it?
81.
Yeah, 81, 82.
Seems like just yesterday though.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, the journey has been fantastic.
Yeah, we've been working together for all these years.
We've been
Yes.
following
Most
each
of
other.
And I have two wonderful children also.
Yes. Yeah.
So getting back to art, when did it start? Were you artistic bent of mind, both of you? Or was it business that changed you?
I think I had an artistic mind, but I think we all developed it more when we got into this whole journey.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it evolved,
I
actually.
think once we got into the business, we started understanding what an artist needs. So because we personally are not great artists.
We are not hands-on artists per se, but
our understanding of what an artist needs started sort of internally enhancing for us once we started the business. Of course, connecting with so many artists, that's how the journey.
For me, I have a keen eye for colors, design, so that helped me in that sense.
Did you guys discover it early on when you were together? You got married, of course, and then did you know that you were getting into this at that point of time? I know you worked with many retailers abroad. Was that the experience that changed you? There was also an experience in Bangalore with a foreign connection. You wanted to work with artisans. I want to set that straight so that it's taken you 15 years of understanding when you started off in 2007. I want to set that history right.
Our first contact with artisans happened when we were in Singapore. So after we got married, we went to Singapore, working there for a Chinese company. And then our Chinese company wanted to do something with India. So then we came back, did some research. We zeroed in on doing a handicraft store in Singapore. So we partnered with Karnataka State. Those days there was a project called Vishwa. So when we partnered with Vishwa, that gave us a lot of exposure in connecting with artisans throughout Karnataka and probably extended to Uttar Pradesh as well. So this exposure made us believe that the biggest challenge we saw that at that point was these artisans didn't have the marketing knowledge. They're very good in what they were doing, but they didn't know how to market themselves or how to market the products. When this is more, it was more a national issue at that point, but nobody addressed it properly. At state levels, people were trying to do. So we thought we could start a retail store. More than that, I was spending a lot of time teaching these artisans in how they can market their products, not only to us but to the international platform. Government used to give lots of subsidies, exhibition opportunities, but they didn't know how to pack it. They didn't know what a barcode was. They didn't know, how to make inners, masters, displays. So they were totally in the dark. So that's when we thought someday we should come back to India and work with these artisans and try to teach them packaging, try to teach them how they can present their products on the global platforms.
So you did go through the rigor of the corporate world where you learned supply chain, sourcing,
Yes.
pricing.
Yes.
Where did you learn that? Was it a few do-it-yourself retailers? Was it
No.
these?
So once we moved, she can tell her experience in Australia. So
Yeah, we've done diverse things. In Singapore there was this retail experience. In Australia, we have worked in retail, wholesale format, worked in a manufacturing sector. So I think he ran a chocolate factory, chocolate manufacturing company. So I think we've had all these experiences, and that is probably where we learned, about retail.
yeah, aggressive retail, we learned a lot in Australia. You see, the company we both were working for
was a discount
was a
chain.
discount retailer, like Big Bazaar style operator, with 720 stores in the group. And we were a very, very extremely aggressive retailer. We never actually gave discounts. We believed in everyday low price. We were the lowest, one of the lowest price.
Just like a Walmart kind of a model.
Yeah. So it was
So
huge.
that's probably, you see so much of discounts in our store also. We're very, very aggressive retailers. So it's come from there, I guess,
Okay.
giving a lot of value.
Okay. So you
that's
came back in
something,
7,
okay,
right?
yeah.
You came back in
2004.
You came back in 4.
Four.
When you came back in 4, did you do some kind of research on this Indian do-it-yourself and art culture?
So the
because
primary
because the
focus
store was
was
founded
to
in 2007.
Yeah, so the primary focus, there were two things. One was to give employment to the rural women, do something for them, the ones that we had seen on our various, sourcing trips and all that. The other was what we had learned. We were exposed to this scrapbooking culture, DIY culture in the West. So we thought, to give them the jobs, we wanted to do something that would provide them something they could do with their hands. Because we were going to deal with the women where there's going to be no machinery or anything. So we wanted to come up with the product where they could use their skills and do something. So we thought we had seen all these scrapbooking layouts with beautiful flowers, all these being decorated. So we thought, why not come back and do something where they can make flowers, handmade flowers from, we picked the local paper, like the cotton paper, recycled cotton paper. So that's how we started. So with our knowledge of the DIY industry, we just got started with this, and then the rest evolved as we started.
Okay, quickly on the art scene at the time, right? And especially inspiring creativity in children at the time. Stationery shops were the places where we went to buy craft material.
Very true.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity for you people.
Yeah.
But if you look at that period between 2005 to 12, I think somehow art was also going down. I think it was the internet era making it big.
Digital.
Right?
Yeah.
And people were forgetting, how do you make things with your own hands.
Yeah.
So for you to bet on that opportunity, how did that happen?
So when we first started manufacturing, we really didn't have a sort of a vision alignment towards a retail program, but we were primarily focusing on manufacturing. But I think she started.
So when our kids were young, when we came back from Australia, and they had to do these school projects, and there was no one stop where you could just go and get something. So I had to go from store to store trying to look for things. And that is when we saw this. We were already doing something for exports. And there was this gap in the industry where there was no one-stop shop for any such thing. And what you would get was very basic. And the quality was not great. So we thought, okay, this is a great opportunity where we could grow beyond what's available out there. So that was how the whole thing started.
So you started off as a manufacturer, just for our audience to know. You started off as a manufacturer.
And exporting
primarily.
it. Yeah.
That itself, would you have thought about it as an easier option at the time with all your retail experience, come back, set up shop here, and then think about retail? Usually people do the other way around, right? In India at the time, especially 2006-7 time frame, there was so much retail expansion in the country, right? So you were already a set retailer, so you knew you can get into set manufacturing, pardon me. So you could get into retailing in 2007 because you had these processes set, right? That you can now bet on retail. Was that the case?
I think retail was at the back of our minds, but it was very capital intensive. So getting into export was pretty easy for us because if you impress a customer, they would pay you advance, and then you would use that money to actually produce and ship. Unfortunately, so when we came, I mean, we didn't have too much money. We sold a house in Melbourne. We put all the money into this project. But unfortunately, our first customer, for whom we had put all our money and shipped, he went bankrupt before he could pay us. So we literally lost all our money. But then luckily we got another customer from UK, and we still call him the savior. So he came and saved our business. So so the export model was extremely sustainable. So whereas we knew retail was going to be very capital intensive, and it was always going to be risky, and export was running pretty smooth. We had a huge growth in export in the third year of after starting. So that's 2007. So that's when we thought, we have some extra money to experiment, and that's how we.
There was a market opportunity, and we had the funds.
That's great. So because the manufacturing had worked out, and there was that one savior you spoke about.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention his name?
Yeah, his name is Stuart. So we still work with him. So we've just restarted. In fact, he went through a bit of a tough time as well. So, but then we have restarted. We're working with him.
Okay.
So
interesting. So 2007, you started the first store. What was the experience like?
2007. Yeah, we started.
Initially, we thought we made a mistake.
Why?
Nobody walked into the store
than
our friends and family.
So people came. The first day, actually, the first opening, it was only friends and family.
Yeah. So next day we had nobody when people would come out of curiosity, but they wouldn't understand what the products were.
They would they would think that these were all imported. They saw these color coordinated papers, everything. It looked beautiful, but they didn't know what to do with it. They would say, oh wow, but nobody had a clue. So that is when we started doing workshops. We used to go to apartments, we used to go,
Schools
we went,
We did totally free
and
workshops.
we both sat and taught scrapbooking.
we used to go and teach.
We used to go.
Had you learned scrapbooking?
We knew how to teach. But we were not,
exposed
because we were exposed to, so we knew how to make an artist do a scrapbook. But we were personally, if you ask me to do, I couldn't do. But we knew all the rules of scrapbooking, how to make it look aesthetically good and all that.
Okay.
Because we were making components for scrapbooking. So we knew all the
So we knew the industry. It's just that we never got time to sit down and do it. But here, we had to do it. We had to teach people what to do.
Yeah.
But your art community now is very popular, right?
Yes.
It is pretty big, and you've got a name for it too. What is it called? It's a Itsy Bitsy art community for students, or is it for everybody?
No,
it's
we
because you're big on Instagram.
We have built communities on social media.
Yeah.
So we work with a network of artists and crafters across the country and even outside India. So we work with a lot of them.
It's
and
good. We don't have a name for the community. Take an idea from Vishal and get.
No, go for it. I'm glad to add value to you. And I seriously want to ask you, in 7, VCs were starting to invest. You saw the birth of Flipkart at the time.
Yeah.
In this 15-year journey of yours or more, have you never had the temptation to go raise money from somebody else? Or did people approach you?
Yeah,
the reason I ask you, Harish, Rashmi, is you're homegrown, you've gone global, you're doing very well.
Yeah.
but money from outside, right? I mean, especially foreign money coming and helping people expand. A lot of people have done that.
Yeah.
But you stayed away from it and built a profitable, scalable, and cash-rich business.
Yeah.
Very, very different and alternate view to what others are doing out there.
Yeah.
Was there a conscious reason why you did this?
See, because we started factories in rural, so our business organically became a very complicated business for an investor. So we had
multiple
we had
rural
13
centers.
factories, all located in very poorer parts of Karnataka. So then, obviously, investor thought it was. I mean, we did have a lot of investors who knocked on our doors. We had many conversations, but then they all had certain challenges comprehending a business which was so socially committed. So it was a challenge for them because they could not send their corporate guys to understand this model. Model was quite complicated. Later on, I think we fine-tuned the model ourselves. So today the model is not so complicated, though it's all rural centers, but we have bigger centers with more number of people and fewer centers. Those days we had 13 or 14 centers.
It was a little difficult to, not easily manageable.
So how many factories today?
We now have 7 factories.
7 factories, stores?
Stores, 38.
38
Yeah.
stores across, right? You've
Two
expanded.
and 2 stores in SmartWorks,
Okay,
which is an
So
IT.
that's like,
what
40
do you-
altogether.
Yeah.
40.
nice. So quick learnings, 2007 to 14, what did you learn? 15 to 22, what did you learn? 2 different phases for you.
Yeah, very true. The main thing we learned from 7 to 14 was the consumer behavior in this category. We made too many mistakes. We were selling bangles. So
Oh,
I can't imagine you selling fake bangles or fake jewelry.
it was crazy. We tried so many different
These are
things.
kids'
but
bangles, right? Kids' bangles
No,
for kids.
no. For
Oh, you did
we
jewelry.
had these fashion jewelry
Oh, you
and all
did.
that.
Okay.
the confusion we had was we always thought people are not understanding our category. So let us put some things which they will understand and lure them to the store. Then we have an opportunity to explain to them what we're doing.
But it was so interesting. I mean, these customers reminded us every single time that you are a DIY store.
Don't sell
They
finished
were-
goods. So,
They were so good. They used to bring us back into art and craft.
Into reality.
yeah.
Seriously.
So your customers, you learned from your customers in the
From
first
our
7
customers,
years.
this phase was
Yes.
very interesting.
Yes.
Exactly like
Yes.
till 2014, we tried so many things, giftware, that, this, we wanted to be a bit of Archie's, a bit of Bhavani Bangle store, a bit of that. So we were pretty confused.
So there was
I think,
probably no identity there. I think we had
yeah.
that identity crisis
But when we
probably.
sold those artificial jewelry for 10 rupees each, thousands of people came and then they saw we cleared all those products.
No, I mean, we realize that people don't see us as anything else but an art and craft store. That was, sort of every
So the
single
discovery
time.
takes time.
Yes.
So the audience must know, especially if you're a startup founder, you must know that to do something right, it takes time.
Yeah.
And so you basically have to also finance yourself in that time, right?
Touchwood
That's
Export was
probably
supporting us all along.
Yeah,
Our
quickly,
export
let's
revenue.
talk about the exports.
Yeah.
You were exporting some of the best retailers around the world.
Yeah.
Again, do-it-yourself and art,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And art
I mean,
equipment.
our paper
right?
flowers is our flagship product.
Yeah.
So we make millions of those flowers.
Yes, I
handmade
heard that's
flowers.
120 million or something of that sort. That's a
Exactly.
phenomenal number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of the top retailers in the US use this.
Yes.
And your factory is also certified by one of them. Right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And that one of the top $1 billion retailers
Yeah,
has certified you as
Yeah.
the vendor.
Yes. Yeah.
That
yeah,
means you
supplied
worked hard on all these things.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Is it important to do that, Rashmi, Harish? To get everything certified, verified.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
See,
they'll come back
that
and
is-
bite you.
See, I think today somewhere people love the quality of Itsy Bitsy products. So all these have helped us achieve that quality.
Okay. And why did you say it'll bite you? If you don't get
See,
your processes or your
I'll tell you.
agreements, right?
See, today we have a large manufacturing facility, and if you're there's a huge workforce dependent on you. So now the Western world is progressing towards lot of certifications. So today, suddenly, if your biggest customer says from tomorrow I'll only buy lead-free products, and if you're not ready for it, your whole setup will collapse. So now I think the new trend internationally is getting everything FSC certified. That's a forest shepherdhood certification. So now we are getting ready for that. So you have to be prepared for an international, change, global environmental impacts, everything. Otherwise, your business could get a shock anytime.
And your clients tell you that, not the lawyers.
Clients,
No,
yeah.
no, clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have EN certification like the European standard or ASTM certification in place for all the things that we manufacture.
Okay. So the first
yeah.
7 years was just this, getting
Yes.
all these things
Learning.
right. Yeah, and the pricing also right. You
Pricing.
said you were overpriced in the beginning.
We were initially overpriced.
Yeah.
I think two reasons put us as an overpriced retailer. Because one, we used to see our customers internationally would buy something
there
from
was
us
no
for
benchmark here, right?
They would buy something
We-
from us for 50 cents and sell for $5. We thought, okay, we could also try that, but unfortunately
and
that
then
didn't work
that
for
didn't
us.
work, and we had this whole back-end thing to support. There was just one retail store and this huge back-end
Yeah.
there. It's a labor-intensive thing, all handmade things. So we had to support that. So we had to figure out the pricing. There was no benchmark here.
There's
We
no
started it
competitor
all
or
out.
anybody to compare.
So it was a bit of an experimentation those days.
This is really fascinating. I'll tell you why this is fascinating, because we've only covered the first 7 years.
Yeah.
The next 7 years were the birth of all the unicorns, and we see that in the headline.
Yes.
Every day there's some unicorn or the other.
Exactly.
In your case, again, you're staying true to your values. Let's build a great manufacturing company. Let's build a great brand around retail and D2C.
Yeah.
So again, no temptations in that era too. Did people come on board again and say, why didn't you take our cash? Did that happen a lot? Because you have an integrated story.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would think, are you a sustainability story? Are you a women's empowerment story? Are you a crafts retailer? Right? You're all these things,
All
right?
Yes.
Right? So what was the experience like in the last 7 years, quickly?
So last 7 years, we had a few more interactions with some strategic investors as well, who
The
are
impact funds.
impact funds, and but again, it always came back to making it corporate. We are not anti-corporate or anything, but our system is actually supporting so many women in rural area, and it's a I must say it is a naturally self-established ecosystem, which we thought would get disturbed if we corporatize. So, but eventually someday we'll have to look at our ecosystem as an independent body, and to go forward we have to corporatize to some extent. We are working on that right now. Yes, eventually things will change, and probably we'll work with an investor. We'll go IPO, we are not sure, but yes, future is going to be
Maybe different to what we are currently doing.
You have already hit 100 crore in revenues.
Close to.
Yeah, close to, right? That's fascinating, right? It's a satisfying journey.
Yeah, very
Right? I
satisfying.
mean, it's built by consumers. Your own customers have
Yes.
built it for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is something that I want to bring in? Do you think folks in the VC world today are pressured to scale? Do you see that happening? Or I know that there are very few make it or break it, right?
Yeah.
Of 1,000 companies, 1 or 2 survive.
Exactly. Yeah.
In your case, you've shown that if you stay to what you believe in,
Yeah.
and you can scale slowly, and yet it is a satisfying and fruitful journey, and enjoy everything else that life offers, right? Not many people get that. Do you want to talk about that a bit, Rashmi, Harish?
Yeah, I think she.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot of satisfaction in whatever we are doing. So I think we are growing at our own pace. There's no pressure to grow here, although we have to sustain. That is probably the huge pressure that, being a large workforce. But I think we are really discovering ourselves, enjoying everything that we are doing. We are understanding this every single day, growing, understanding what customer needs and growing with it. So I think we really don't feel the pressure of growing too fast or anything. it's been sustainable, and right now, I mean, we have plans of growing it to 100 stores or probably.
Oh, you have
even
plans to get
larger.
to 200 stores.
We
Nice.
have, but then right now with pandemic, everything, we've just put it on hold and just work on fine-tuning all the existing stores that we have. So I think we are happy. Yeah.
Till June, July this year, we're just going to optimize all the stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
10,000 SKUs in your store.
Yes.
And
More,
come
growing,
more now.
growing.
How do you keep a mind map of that?
In our exports,
I'm
we
really
have.
curious.
See, thing is, when we were in Australia, we were working with a company with almost 250,000.
I still remember the codes that I was working with back then.
So we had almost
We
250,000 SKUs. So 10,000 looks very small for us. So when we work with so people who like Banu, who's our operations manager, so he comes from Big Bazaar background. So these are the guys who still think, oh, it's only 10,000 SKUs. But people who come from Levi's or somebody, they say, oh wow,
They
10,000.
could be overwhelmed. Yeah.
So 10,000 is not a huge number, but it is still a lot of SKUs, out of which maybe 7 or 8,000 are all manufactured by us. The rest are traded SKUs. Our strength is in that manufactured part, which gives us uniqueness. It's not available in any other store.
It's funny, you have these many products, people still come and ask for that product which we don't have.
Yeah, that's always true. There's so much expectation, right?
Yeah.
So you have an R&D team in-house that looks at all these SKUs and says, okay, what can we offer to the young customer? What's the average age group in Itsy Bitsy?
So I think anything starting from probably 6 years upwards.
Yeah, and going all the way up till 80.
All the way
80
till
I think
as long as you
I've
can
just
do
done
it.
an analysis on that last week. Our the biggest basket is
6 to
between
12.
30 and 40 years.
Oh, so people
6
are
to
older.
Yeah,
6 to 12 and again older.
maybe the
30
6 to
once they
12
hit.
is all represented because our billing will not take the age of the child. You know,
Yes.
it takes the age of the
The-
customer. So it's
So
30
basically, the
upwards.
parent also gets influenced.
yes,
Yeah, with the kid.
So 30 to 40 is our biggest basket.
Okay.
size. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the growing art culture over the last 15 years again, and what do you expect it to become by 2025 at least? Because you plan to go to 200 stores.
Yeah.
So is there a revival of art
So there's a
appreciation?
huge shift we can say. I mean, earlier I think the parents would say, you want to become an artist, really? You better become an engineer or a doctor.
Yes.
And that was a mindset. But now, I mean, you look at the social media, I think it's the artists that are growing. So you have all these influencers in the art space, craft space, they're really making it big. So there is a huge shift. And people believe in self-expression. And people are going against digital. So I think all these factors have really added, and the pandemic that we had, people discovered their interest. It was, doctors started doing art and craft, engineers, biochemical engineers, and you name it, every single lawyers, they all started doing art and craft.
So art
I think
appreciation is back.
it's back.
Okay.
And then the healing power that it gives. I mean,
And
people
the
started.
variety of things like the
And
resin art.
It has grown
is
like
just a
all
huge
these
category
things, yeah,
for us.
macrame, resin, alcohol inks. It's just grown. Yeah.
That's good to know. And also, quickly cover the D2C aspect in a minute. Right? Is D2C growing?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you building that category?
Yeah, D2C is a big, due to the pandemic, we had a huge spike and then it dropped a little bit, but now it's pretty much stable. We're now probably hiring more people to,
Grow it further.
How big is your team today?
In manufacturing, we have around 3,000 women. We're very labor-intensive business. In retail, we have about 400 retail staff, and
Back end in the office, some
back end
80.
80.
It's a large team.
Yeah.
And the warehouse back end is about 120. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to talk about life aspects, right? One of the things that I ask on the show would be your 30-second guide to happiness. What is your 30-second guide to happiness?
I think she knows it better.
It's always funny how the husbands leave it to the wife. Our happiness is in your hands. Go for it, Rashmi.
No, I mean, I think on multiple fronts. I mean, we are able to give that social There's that social angle in the business which is giving a lot of happiness. Then every single time we walk into a store or in a store opening, we meet so many people who really love Itsy Bitsy products. They tell us their experiences. They all have stories with it. They tell us the kind of health benefits they've had or what kind of happiness it has given them. I think that gives us huge happiness, and I am working with all these products, colorful products, that again. So I think it's not stressful going to work.
Right.
We're
Once we
always
go
working
back
with
home, we still have our little Itsy Bitsy there.
Oh yeah,
Itsy Bitsy everywhere.
I should bring your ambassador dogs, right? While the store's name is Itsy Bitsy, they have a couple of dogs called Itsy Bitsy. They're Shih Tzus, aren't they?
Shih Tzus.
Yeah, Shih Tzu. They give you a lot of love.
Yeah.
Totally. And with
miss
people,
them
we
a lot.
always get the question, which one came first? Did the store come first or Itsy Bitsy?
Yes.
So Itsy Bitsy puppies, they're just 5 years old.
Yeah, okay, great. Now that's out of the way. And the man's always quiet. He's not answered what's his secret guide to happiness.
Yeah.
Right? He's got you to talk, and he's conveniently avoided the question. So what's your guide to happiness?
I think I've always liked life full of action. I don't like any dull moment in my life. So that gives me a lot of happiness. So the business we are in, our kids, things they do, and all everything I see is giving a lot of excitement every day. See, my daughter just comes up one day, says, "Dad, I want to start a new business. I want to go and like you're doing." She went and did some interviews around country. That was her first venture. So then after about 6 months. Yeah, Northbound was the name of the business. After 6 months, she said, I've always liked natural food, so I'd like to, do something. So these things excites me,
It's funny, the games that we play when we are all together.
What
is the venture you would like to start?
That's
Is
nice.
a
You're
game.
an entrepreneurial family.
Yeah, so,
It's funny.
and of course at work, there's always excitement. When I go to the office, my design team would bring in 20 products and say these are the things we're trying to launch, and so there is I think that's what gives me happiness.
That's nice.
Traveling for exhibitions, I mean, it's so exciting. We do so many shows around the world.
Yeah.
So
I mean, now with
you're
pandemic it
hardcore
is.
entrepreneurs, aren't you? You're in it completely, including the daughters. Right. Final question. Why should people come back to Itsy Bitsy? It's Itsy Bitsy 3.0 now for the next decade, right? So you have to tell us that. Why should consumers come and experience the store? Because you're multiple things.
Yeah.
And finally, people who have influenced you. It can also be books, artists. It can also be politicians, for all you know.
Yeah.
But influences in your life that's made you what you are. 2 questions.
So
why should people come back?
So we offer great value. We always say the products here are of international quality and desi price. So great quality. And it's a one-stop shop for anything you want, all your creative supplies. And I think we believe everybody is born creative. Once they step into an Itsy Bitsy, they discover what they're good at.
Right,
So,
great, Harish.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
And one more thing I would like to add, because we are so dynamic in product development, a customer who walks in today, if the same customer walks in after 2 weeks, at least they will see another 300, 400 new products. So that is the dynamics we maintain. And we also wash out our older products
Inventory.
through our 80% off.
Inventory keeps changing.
So the 80% off is genuine 80% off, because we really want the space to make room for the new
And
products.
just one more thing, we just don't sell products. It's an experience that they get here. We give demos, people can learn things, and we constantly offer tutorials on our social media. So I think, there's a lot on
And
offer.
when we meet people, we hear the stories how Itsy Bitsy has changed their lives. They were in depression. They were, I think recently we met a few people as well. So that's we feel really happy that they've come out of the depression.
There's one of our customers. She's very happy that her son is into art and craft. She says, I really know he will not get into any other bad things because he's got onto this path of art and craft.
Yeah. Now you know why you should come back, ladies and gentlemen. It's because you're missing art in your life. Art is more than therapy. It can change you. Influences, books, artists, quickly.
So, I mean...
Her book, I know what it is.
Which one is it? Okay, let's go for it. Is it true? Let's test him.
Secret.
Secret.
Secret. Is that correct?
Rhonda
Okay.
Burns. Yeah, I love that.
Okay,
I
by
love
which?
that.
Who's the author?
Rhonda Burns.
Okay.
I
And
love
and
that.
your favorite book?
I mean, I don't read too many books. I just read articles on
And
it.
you're counting the cash. So go on. Any
But she
influences?
keeps telling me about all the things she learns from these books. I think we have
Yeah.
lots of conversations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter too. I think she's also a
Yeah,
big believer
yeah.
in that.
In reading?
From me, no, she's got on to all the secret, every single
Yeah.
book of that.
So, when it comes to inspiration, I think we both are inspired by our ex-boss in Australia. We used to work for him. His name is Dave
Dave
Rickards.
Rickards.
So, Dave Rickards was the founder of the discount industry in Australia. He was called the $2 man. He started the $2 stores and he sold millions of Rubik's Cube.
They were also a husband and wife
They're also a husband
team.
and wife team.
You're still in touch with them?
Oh yeah. So they all came for my 50th birthday for 5 years back. We partied. All my Aussie friends came. Yes.
It's heartening to know that you're in India, and so glad that I could host you on the upstreamlife.com. Thank you so much, Rashmi.
I really appreciate
Thank you so much, Vishal.
I'm sure, we'll have many episodes with you with the new growth we're planning.
100%. And thank you for watching the upstreamlife.com. And for more questions, write to us, and we'll get Harish and Rashmi to answer them.
Certainly.
Definitely.
Right?
Certainly.
Yeah, happy.
Would
Cheers
love
to you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.